What's going on, guys? I'm GregglesTV. He's Initial Focus. We're both on YouTube, so make sure you check the links down below if you want to follow either of us or both of us. I think it's best to both follow both of us. He's growing like crazy right now. Initial Focus, I'm talking about. He put a video out a few days ago about the OnePlus and if you should buy it or not, and it's just going crazy. It's almost viral. He's doing an awesome job, so make sure you check his channel out. Today we are going to talk E3 because I went to E3 a couple days ago, and he went to the pop-up event and snagged a OnePlus 3. So why don't we start off with the man of the hour, Michael Tobin of Initial Focus, and talk some OnePlus 3 talk.
Yeah, man. So we're not really going to talk too many other stories and stuff today. Pretty much just our experiences. Since it's been a crazy week, we didn't have much prep time, even though we usually prep pretty quickly. But yeah, so I have the OnePlus 3. Here's my proof. Went to New York City 2 days ago and drove down very just for that pretty much, and it was a really fun time. So I got there. If you have no idea about the pop-up events and stuff, it pretty much was one of 7 places around the world for them to launch the phone and kind of do a meet and greet, and obviously to buy the actual phone. And yeah, so when I got there, it started at 7 and I got there at like 4 or 5, and I was within the first, I'd say 30 to 50 people, which was cool. But at the doors opening, there was probably my girlfriend went to the back of the line and said it wrapped about 2 blocks, which was pretty crazy for such a small event. Was the most hilarious part was the people were walking by. They're like, "Is this an Apple event? Like the new Apple phone?" And we're like, "Oh, it's the new OnePlus 3." And they're like, "Is that Apple?" And we're like, "No." And what was crazy is Carl Pye, whatever the co-founder's name is, he was there. But the coolest person I got to talk to was actually the project manager. Literally the guy who decided everything about the hardware of the phone.
Did you get to interview him?
He wouldn't go on camera and do like a full interview or anything, sadly.
Okay.
But he like talked to a couple of us. I was with surrounded by some fairly techie people, and so we were all bombarding him with questions and stuff. And I mean, it was very cool. He was very, very open about talking about their decisions, to stick to 1080p screens and, kind of a bunch of different decisions. But yeah, once we got in there, it was at Magnum, which is a fancy ice cream place. Never heard of it. And
what? So you said there was a lot of people in line and were wrapped around the block. If you had to estimate how many people there actually were that showed up to that event, how many do you think?
After watching OnePlus, someone from their Twitter account tweeted like a time lapse going around the 2 or 3 blocks, and it was I'd say probably 200 people.
So 200 people showed up. Did everyone get a device, or do you know if people were turned away?
I don't know if anyone was turned away. We sat in Magnum for a while, and I'm fairly certain I saw one of the last people go in, but I could be wrong. And they were still selling phones. When at my point, when the line was still new and the marketing or the project manager came out, we asked him like how our stock levels. He was like, "You guys are guaranteed fine," or not guaranteed, but he was like, "You guys are fine." He said at that point, we have enough to at least do this line 2 times over. So they had a couple hundred phones in stock. And they only had they gave us the sandstone case for free, and then they just had the carbon fiber and I believe one of the lighter bamboos available, but I just picked up the carbon fiber. But yeah, once you got inside, you got to get your hands on it, play with it. They obviously had a bunch out on a nice little table. You got to feel it, and I'll tell you, this is without a doubt, even though I'm an iPhone fan, even after the Galaxy S7 Edge, this is the nicest feeling phone I've ever held in my life.
Do you notice a difference? Like I really like the way the S7 Edge fits in my hand.
Yes.
Um, and then so when I hold it, it just feels so perfect. It feels
Yep.
really good, especially with a case on it. I don't so much like the edges, to be honest with you. I think that the edges are a gimmick. Right now they are. I don't see
Yeah.
where they're coming into play, but right now it feels really good. When I hold this and then I hold my Nexus 6P, this just feels so much more comfortable in my hand. Is it that same effect, or is it
It's
feel a
basically
little
like
bigger?
the S7 Edge if you straightened out the edges. Like it's that perfect. It's got just enough of a contour in the back to kind of wrap in, but it's not so rounded like some HTC phones. It's like the skinniest, thinnest 5.5 inch screen. Because I mean, I forget looking up the tech specs, but I can tell almost just by feeling. I'm fairly certain that my iPhone is thicker than this phone, and this is the case on it, which comes off and stuff pretty easily. But it's one of those things where like you just have to feel it in your hand at some point, and obviously you will.
That's what she
you ordered
said.
one. Jeez. Yes.
Yeah, no, I get mine Monday.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
you got yours a little bit earlier because you got to go to the pop-up event, and I have to. I think they ship it from China. I think
Yeah.
because they gave me this tracking number, and I put it in Google, and Google can find any tracking number. It can't find it, and then but I did get another email saying it was arriving Monday. So
It
I'm hoping it really does
yeah,
arrive Monday.
it does ship out of China somewhere after ordering the OnePlus One and OnePlus Two. But
Okay.
yeah, people were really excited, and they gave us I guess I never showed this on social media either.
Oh, guys, this is an exclusive.
So they were all wearing this Dash shirt. Here,
Like Dash the
Charging.
Kardashians shirt.
I'm sure that sounded good in the microphone. So it's their Dash charging.
Oh yeah, that's the thing where you can get 60% battery life after 30 minutes.
Yes, so it has that,
Okay.
and then a little OnePlus on the back.
Okay.
So we got that. This was pretty neat. We got a envelope, which basically just has. They worked with like different graphic artists. Like I'm guessing it was some competition that we just missed or something. But it's basically a bunch of like stickers and stuff that other people, and it says off to the side like who designed it and stuff.
Okay.
But it's probably just like 10, 15 sheets of that. And then
That's cool.
the coolest thing and the last thing, besides the free sandstone case, was this OnePlus messenger bag.
Oh wow.
So it's pretty cool. Has straps
Yeah.
that go on the back and stuff, and enough. You can see it pretty big.
Yeah. I wonder how they're making money.
Dude, they're
Like, how are they giving away all this? I mean, so they're probably getting crazy prices on that messenger bag for like pennies or something. But even still, like they're still giving it out, and all they sell are three. I don't even know if they still sell the OnePlus One. Do they still sell that one?
They do it. You have to
Okay.
go under their store tab on the website. It doesn't
Okay.
immediately come up, but yeah, and
I know they stopped selling the OnePlus X because
Did
of
they?
this phone. Yeah, he announced it. Yeah.
okay.
So they stopped selling this. It only sells 3 phones. Like, I don't know how they're making this money. And they have a huge staff.
Well, so and we talked about that a little in the line, and I don't know if it's the same anymore because one of the guys was telling me, and he was a very intelligent guy. He definitely knew his stuff, and he was talking about how the people here would deny it, but OnePlus is still very much owned by Oppo.
Okay.
And
So Oppo's big.
yeah, which I didn't know, and as you know, Oppo is huge. So most people are saying is OnePlus started as just like a side project for Oppo, and then it like super took off, and obviously it is where it is today. So I'm guessing like I don't know if it's still the same relationship now, but they definitely wouldn't be able to hit these price points and do all these extra extravagant marketing things if it weren't for having that parent company, my guess. Because, I mean, yeah, I talk about it in my video, but between the swag bag and, like, the whole unboxing experience, I mean, it's the same as if you bought an iPhone or bought a Samsung. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
very
Apple
good.
doesn't give you a messenger bag. I mean, the most you get when you wait out at an Apple store, I remember, was getting a bottled water. Trying to think of maybe some dessert or something, or a snack bar or
Yeah,
something. But
we always gave out little treats. The only time you get something at an Apple store is if it's a brand new store. The first day, the first like 50 or 100 people, they'll have like T-shirts.
okay, but still, I mean,
That's
it's
it.
not. Apple's has so much cash in the bank that they could afford a little messenger bag, and people would go wild for it. But I mean, that's not Apple.
Yeah.
It is more for a company that's trying to make a name for themselves. I kind of saw that. I don't want to get too much on it, but at E3, a lot of the companies that were giving away stuff were the ones that were trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm very glad that I got the phone. My OnePlus 2 will go back safely in its box, and it's kind of cool having. I'll be doing a bunch of videos besides just the general first impressions and review. Since I have the OnePlus 1, 2, and 3, I'll do some fun comparison videos between all three phones, which is cool.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah,
that's awesome. What about the performance? I mean, I don't know how if you've been using it daily, but have you noticed any slowdown or anything?
no, I mean obviously I've only had it for 2 or 3 days, but I between the 6 gigs of RAM, the storage space, the Snapdragon 820, and the Adreno 530 running on that 1080p screen. It's just, I mean, it's like having your Nexus 6P. I'll be very curious to see how you think it is, but Oxygen OS is so light that this thing just screams around.
That's good.
And like I was telling you before we started, like the fingerprint sensor's the fastest I've ever used. The camera is not laggy anymore like the old app was on the OnePlus 2. And the OnePlus 2, the latest Oxygen OS update, I think they did at a very good time. They did it, a week or two prior to the OnePlus 3, which I think was smart because then they could see how it is on the OnePlus 2, fix any last minute bugs, and then have it. And they just released a second update, Oxygen 3.1.2, I believe, last night, which had some bug fixes and some general performance improvements. The battery life's better. The standby time is what I hated on the OnePlus 2, and obviously dash charging is pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
the two things that I heard that were kind of crappy about the phone were I've heard mixed things about the camera again. I've also heard that the memory leak. There's a memory leak where it will not. If you open up apps and then you close, you hit the home button or whatever, and then you go back into that app, it relaunches the app. The S7 Edge had that problem too. I'm curious if the new. You probably don't know yet, but I'm curious if the new update fixed that. And then what was the other thing? Battery life. People said it was quite mediocre. Even though it has a 1080p screen.
Yeah. The first part I definitely haven't really noticed too much, especially since I just ran the update late last night. But that's good to know. And then the battery thing, it definitely by all means is nowhere near the best battery life phone I've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
But it is, if anyone is basing it off of a OnePlus 2 or anything equivalent, it is very, very good. And yes, they did chop 300 milliamp off because the OnePlus 2 is a 3300 milliamp and this is a 3000. And so I know a lot of people were angry about that, which I'm kind of in that boat. I would have been fine with a little thicker and bigger battery, just like everyone cries to Apple about. But the standby time is better. I mean, I've been using this all day. I mean, I've been filming the review since probably 9 or 10 this morning. Hasn't always been on, but I'm still at 57%.
Okay.
Compared to, and I charged it up this morning. I did the dash charging for up to 100%, and so I mean I don't think anyone will have any issue as far as all-day battery life. I'll see real quick what the screen on time was.
Do you know if that dash charging works with any USB-C cable, or does it only work with the OnePlus One?
Has to be a specific cable and the specific battery power
block.
Yes.
Power block.
Because it's a 4 amp battery, and it's massive.
Okay.
It is massive. But I mean, OnePlus, their accessories are so amazingly priced. It's not a huge deal, but
yeah.
You cannot, and it says when it's charging, dash charging. So I'm sure if I I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure if I plugged it into the OnePlus 2 charger or any other USB-C cable, it would probably just say charging and obviously charge at a slower rate.
Okay. Do you notice anything that, since the screen's 1080p, do you notice anything big versus one of the 2K screens? I don't know if you still have the Samsung phone, but any 2K screen phone you have, or versus the Apple, do you notice a big difference?
And it's one of those things of like when I hold up an S7 Edge or something, sure, you can tell a difference. And especially if I was doing VR on these phones, absolutely you could see a difference. But for everyday phone use, I mean, no one could hold a phone here and tell me that 1080p looks like garbage. Like,
yeah, right.
It doesn't. I'm completely fine for right now with 1080p screens. I'm fine with it on the iPhone. I'm fine with it on here. Can I tell a difference? Sure, but it's nothing to be sad about. And yeah, I mean, performance-wise, this thing destroys. I ran part of the review. I ran benchmarks on it before, and I haven't watched it. I know some people uploaded against the Galaxy S7 Edge. I haven't looked at those benchmarks yet, but it fared well to the iPhone in every single one, and most of the time beat the iPhone in most benchmarks.
That's good. Well, we'll see where, I mean, obviously there'll be more updates and there'll be more things that change about the phone over the coming days, weeks, and months. Yep. So I'll be curious to see how the phone grows over that time.
And my official video will be out hopefully by tomorrow. I'm working hard to bust it out, but like I said, busy week. And then I know you get yours on Monday, so hopefully we'll see something from you and then maybe we can do something. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yes, for sure. So I attended E3. E3 was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. And I attended, it's in Los Angeles. I live in San Diego. So I headed on up to Los Angeles area on Monday night, and I stayed with some family my wife's family up there. And we ended up getting there on really early Tuesday, like 7:30 a.m. because the event really for E3 starts Sunday and Monday. There's some presentations that go off Sunday and Monday, but in order to attend those, you have to be invited by the company or somebody affiliated with the company in order to get in. It's really difficult, unfortunately. I tried some people that I know that are in the industry to get into the PlayStation and the Xbox, and I couldn't get in. You have to be either really big or you have to know somebody, and I'm neither of those right now.
Get in there.
So I didn't go those days even though I wanted to. So I ended up going Tuesday. Tuesday was the first official day that you get to go, and I went to registration, grabbed my badges. It was really quick, took minutes once you grab that, and then you just walk in. And right when I walked in, it was really cool. I walked right in and I stood in line, and three guys were standing in front of me, and everybody's there because of a company. Have it be because they work for that company or the company invited them. So I got invited by a company, and that company got me in. And then the guys that were standing next to me, I said, "Hey, what company? How'd you guys get in?" They said, "We work for I think it's called Playful Corp." And I said, "Oh, what's that?" And they said, "We make Lucky's Tale." And I said, "Oh, Lucky's Tale, the VR game for the what can you think of the name? What is it called?
Oculus.
Oculus Rift. I was gonna say Oculus. Oculus Rift. It was one of the launch titles for that. And it was so cool. I just talking to those guys about games and what they were telling me the game designers come from all around different companies. They stay at one company and then they go on to the next one. basically because either the game company dies out or it gets stagnant or they just want to do something different. But anyways, they had made that game, and one of the guys actually was working on. He actually worked on Words with Friends, which everybody has played at one time in their life, right? I mean, it's an awesome game. Yeah, and but I got to interview him, and I'll have that video up actually later today. I put 2 videos out today. I already put my E3 vlog up, so if you want to watch that, just check my channel. You can watch that. And then later on today, I'll have an interview with that guy. It's very short, but it's cool. It's good to get some knowledge out there. But anyways, we walked in. It was completely busy. It was tough to walk in places, especially they had 2 areas, really. Well, 3, but 2 major areas. One major area had all the big boys, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox, all in one room, one big giant room, and they had all their games. They had, the Xbox had their system, their new system on display. Nintendo had their own area. It was really just for Zelda. And Zelda, it was tough to get in there. I didn't even end up going to that, unfortunately, because you had to wait at least 4 hours just to get into that room to play Zelda. And that would have killed one of my days, and I didn't want to do that. Like I said, Xboxes and Xbox and PlayStation's rooms were really busy.
Can imagine.
There was kiosks, so those were like usually 4 or 5 deep, playing if you wanted to play the game, which wasn't too bad. And you could play the game for, pretty much 10, 20, 30 minutes if you wanted to.
That's cool. I always wonder what type of like etiquette like that everyone just kind of knows of as like, I would feel like no one wants to be that guy, or unless they're like timed demos or something.
They kind of are. So they have people. They actually have. That's what was cool, and that's how I got some of my interviews. Some of the I interviewed the co-founder of the game Outlast.
Yeah, I saw that part. That's in your vlog.
Yeah, I actually have a full interview. It's probably 2 minutes. A full interview up that'll come out over the next day or two. And he was standing right there, and you could talk to him about the game. And he wouldn't kick you off it, but there'd be someone else there, like a person that was helping out, like someone that was just worked for the company, and they would kind of not nudge you off, but basically get you off the game. So they had those kind of people there, but it was good because you were in touch with the developers, or you were in touch with the co-founder or whoever was or the PR person. So I got some cool interviews.
That's awesome.
Other than that, though, the other room was filled with third-party developers like Square, Samsung was in there.
That's cool.
The people that make the Lego games, Warner Brothers, and then some other small little companies and Chinese companies that make like mobile games. That room definitely had more room to walk, unless you were in a certain area of it. But otherwise, really the main room where Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo were. Those were really the rooms you'd want to be in. But other than that, I got to meet some people that NVIDIA gives me some news sometimes, and I got to meet some of those people, which was cool. And I got to go in NVIDIA's they had a little office almost. Room that you could go into, and they had some VR stuff set up, and you could play the NVIDIA Shield TV, and they had some high-powered PC games you could play. So it was cool to go in there and see what they had going on. But other than that, I felt after a day, like after that first day, my feet were killing me. I felt like I got beat up because I had like a blister on my foot. Everyone was really nice though.
Struggle is real.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, I'm a little bit older, but it definitely hurt my feet and stuff, and I was happy to get out of there the first day. And then by the second day, because the first day we went through basically everything. I was like, you know what? I captured everything I really want to capture, and I don't think I need to get any more. And honestly, after the second day, I was kind of burnt out. So we left midway point of the second day, and we didn't even attend the third day because it's the same thing over and over. You get to play the games, you can see the same stuff.
Gives everyone a chance to see everything.
Yeah, I wasn't, it was enough for me. It was a good experience. I think if I get to go next year, I'd be very excited because you have 2 4K gaming systems coming out from Sony and Xbox, and you probably have a new machine coming from Nintendo as well. So I think next year is going to be a huge, huge time for that. Also, before I forget, VR is completely taking over everything in gaming. It's any
Awesome.
game company, any hardware company that makes gaming had VR. There was so many VR setups. It was crazy, and
That's awesome.
yeah. I got to try the Oculus Rift, and it's a little bit blurry, and people will say, "Oh, just adjust it on your eyes," but it's more than that because it's not as clear as like me just looking at my computer screen. It's
Yeah.
a little bit fuzzy. It's
Has
still
like
not.
1 or 2 more years to go.
Might
And
even have more than that, but yeah, it's you're right. It's a couple more. I was talking to one of the developers. I was actually talking to the developer at Playful Corp, and I said after I tried Oculus, I was like, it seems it needs to be 4K. He's like, actually, you know what? It needs to be 8K. And what he meant
damn.
by that is 4K in each eye.
Yeah.
Because if it's 4K, it's only 2K in each eye. So it needs to be 8K, he said, in order for it to be really good. And that he said that's probably about 5 years out.
Wow.
But
How was the
cool.
how was the because what I'm personally interested in too, or what are your thoughts on the Xbox Slim, or
It's really a nice system. It looks very modern.
as a very like casual gamer, that
Yeah.
console definitely intrigues me.
Yeah, it's very modern looking. It's obviously small. It's 40% smaller. The power brick is inside right now. I would say though, unless you have some expendable money to throw around,
You'd wait till next year.
it depends. So if you don't have an Xbox One and you don't have a 4K TV, get it. If you have an Xbox One and you have a 4K TV, don't get it.
Yeah.
If you
I got the white Xbox 360 that I'm selling.
okay. If you can wait it out, though, I would probably say wait for It's another year, though, more than a year. It's actually a year and a half. Well, yeah, it's actually about a year and a half before the 4K machine comes out, and even then, it might be tough to get. You never know. So
Yeah.
it's kind of tough.
It's the world of technology, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's cool though. But the Xbox, it looks nice. I'll put that much in it because I couldn't play it. They didn't have it on display or anything. But
Is
they
it
had it on display.
only white?
What's that?
Does it only come in white?
That I know of, yeah. But it does come in hard drive size. You get 500
Or a
terabyte
terabyte or
or
2
2 terabytes, yeah. And it goes from 299 all the way up to 399. I actually pre-ordered the 500 gig one, only because I already have a 2 terabyte external drive that I can use on it, so I don't need the.
I wouldn't get anything more than 500. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to install every game on it now, and that takes up space. But again, I have the 2 terabyte drive, and I still have more than a terabyte space left on that. With over, I don't even know how many games I have, man. I have a lot of games on there.
Yeah. See, that's why I'd be fine. I mean, hell, my white Xbox I think is 120 gig. Just give me
Yeah.
GTA 5, Titanfall, and a good Call of Duty or Battlefront game, and I'm good.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Exactly, you're right. And you can always delete the games if you
Yeah.
run out of space. But yeah, it was definitely
So
an
it's a good
interesting.
overall experience.
It was good overall. It got me tired though.
Feel you there. It was rough at when the OnePlus event ended at like 10. We literally walked back to the car and just started driving back. And around 5 a.m., I was like, I can't do this anymore. So we stopped somewhere and slept for like 4 or 5 hours.
Like
And
on
then,
the side of the road, or just to get
no, we like stopped at a hotel. Didn't just pull over and call it quits. I did try to do like a 30-minute power nap at a rest stop though, and I was like, no, we need to stop. There's no use. So we ended up getting back yesterday evening, but yeah, it was a long ride. But that's also there is so much that happened this week. I mean, between just what you and I were doing, as well as I feel like just a lot of busy
Yeah,
tech stuff.
I couldn't even capture some of the games because, like, for instance, Battlefield. I played Battlefield, awesome game, very fun. I couldn't capture it though because they wouldn't. It's in alpha still, even though it comes out in
Oh, really?
October. They wouldn't let me videotape my playing of it. So I couldn't do that. There was another cool game that I wasn't able to capture. I can't think of the name. It's like a zombie game, but it's kind of like it's on the PlayStation, but it's an open world game. I can't think of the name. It's really it reminds me of The Last of Us. I don't know if you ever played that or heard of it, but it's just like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Really fun, beautiful, fun looking game. I couldn't capture that either. They wouldn't let me. So there was some stuff I couldn't capture that isn't out yet, but looks really good that I would have loved to have captured. And I don't know. There's not. I wouldn't say there's a ton of games coming out that excited me, but VR excites me. I pre-ordered the PlayStation VR, so I'll have that, I think, this fall. And the Resident Evil game looks awesome. I tried to get into that. They had an exhibit there, but there was only a certain amount of tickets every day, and I couldn't get into that. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get in that. But I saw the demo. I saw the trailer online, and that looked crazy good, crazy scary too. So that's exciting. That's only in VR. It's a Resident Evil VR game. So very excited about this. Remember this, dude?
Oh, yeah. I got mine somewhere around here. Good old Austin Evans tweeted the selfie photo of the whole audience a couple days ago as like a throwback. I think he did it yesterday for like Throwback Thursday. And I responded. I was like, I'm honored that was my selfie stick.
Did he respond?
He just liked it, but
he's too big to respond.
Not there yet. No,
I know. I saw you respond to TLD today. Did he respond back to you the other day about his camera? He did.
Wait, about
his camera.
Oh no, he for WWDC he was tweeting, and so I did like a real quick. I spent like 3 minutes, and I photoshopped a picture of. I don't have it here. It was basically a picture of Tim Cook on stage. And then I photoshopped Jonathan on stage with him with a speech bubble that says, "Okay, Tim, I got this." And the tweet was something like, "I feel like TLD today has been innovating more for Apple than the company itself, so I'm half expecting this."
Oh wait, before we go, actually, let's bring it up. What did you think of I was going to say TLD today of WWDC?
Overall, to sum it up, I was very, 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 very pleased. A lot of people were upset that there was no new hardware, which, sure, I can be sad about, but it's not meant for hardware. WWDC is literally meant for developers. So the past years that we've gotten to see hardware, I mean, that's always just a bonus. I can't be mad about the fact that there's no hardware. But ton of new, and when I'm going to do the public beta, so I'll have the actual software soon enough in the next couple of weeks, so we can do a lot more on it then. But I'm Siri on a Mac, or Siri Open SDK. iOS 10 is going to be awesome. You can finally hide apps, stock apps. They don't actually delete whatever. That's Apple giving a little bit of a nudge, but whatever.
Some customization.
So I'm very excited for and I'm happy it's Mac OS that instead of OS 10 and stuff. It was overall a very good 2-hour event. I was very pleased when it ended. Didn't get to see enough Johnny sentimental videos, but it's but it was crazy. I always love in the beginning when they announce how many countries and how many types of developers, because developers are of all kind, not just for iOS, but also for Android. And the youngest developer there was a 9-year-old girl.
Wow.
And she was just this cute little girl, like, waving at the camera with her mom in the front row. I'm like, that's awesome. But, no, it was a very good event.
Yeah, I was disappointed they didn't release iMessage to Android after all the
thought about you as soon as
they were like, no, we're not going to make that true.
But they did take iMessages literally Facebook Messenger, like Allo, like
Allo,
Snapchat, they just took I feel like they took the suggestion box for iMessage and just said, let's just do it all. They spent like half an hour on the new messaging app, which is fine. I won't use half the features, but it's cool. It was a big update. It's iOS 10, so 10 years of or not 10 years, but 10 versions of iOS. So
has it been 10 years? No,
because 2007, it's 9 years, I think. Whatever.
Still, I can't believe I knew the iPhone came out 10 years ago almost. Though it's crazy.
Yep.
Exciting. Well, guys, we do this every Thursday, even though today's Friday. We do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So if you want to join us, feel free to. You can talk in the chat, ask us questions. You can email us before as well at GregglesTV@gmail.com or I don't know if you have your email there. I can't read it. Yeah, you do. It's kind
Michael
of
at initial-focus.com.
Yeah, email us if you have questions or comments or whatever you guys want to say to us. If you have topics that we want to you want us to cover, that'd be great too. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to both of our channels. We both put videos out multiple times a week, and we both do good work, I hope.
Yeah. That's grown, so it's going well. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
Congrats again on hitting over 1,000. You're about to hit, well, you probably hit 2,000 by this time next week.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
That's awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.